Q, can you lower the lights for me, please?
Okay, but remember, in here, keep those feet still, my man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Coley, and I want to welcome you to Fandango's big ticket interview with the cast and filmmakers of Michael. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Antoine, sir, I would like to start with you because there has been probably miles of things written and filmed about Michael Jackson, tons of documentaries. What about this story do folks have to look forward to now that we're getting to see him in a live action biopic?
I think it's the most intimate film, for sure, made about Michael Jackson. Something that really gives you some insight into who he was and his personality and some of his process, his creative process.
I know you have to be a fan of Michael Jackson to be involved in a film like this, obviously. When you knew that you were going to be sitting behind the chair on this one, what was the thing you were most excited that you were going to get to capture?
Everything. Really. I got to hear that music every day.
Yeah.
And then I got this amazing cast, and that was it for me. Amazing.
It's an amazing cast. And then probably one of the most daunting parts is finding two people in this case that can play one of the most famous men, most brilliant performers to ever live on planet Earth. And so Jafar, no pressure, but you nailed it. I've seen it. How did this role come into your life, especially considering the family connection?
I grew up, surrounded by music and obviously listening to Michael's music. Then fast forward years and years, I got a call from Graham King that he wanted to meet and discuss Michael, what he was working on at that time. And one conversation led to the other, and it ended up happening as I started working with the acting coach, and I didn't know anything about acting, and it was first really understanding what that is before even trying to dive into Michael. So I did that for about a year, and then I really honed in on what is Michael, the man behind all those classic songs that we hear that we're familiar with, and I was trying to discover the humanity in that first and foremost, and then really dissecting the moves and the mannerisms after that. But it was the longest process and the most challenging, but at the end of it, and I'm proud and honored to be surrounded by people that have that protection and that love and that care for Michael and for everyone on the set, and that was felt every day.
And you're already getting rave reviews. Katherine Jackson said, "You embody Michael." I mean, what did you feel like when she said that, when she gave you that praise?
I got really emotional, and just to hear that and see it, when I saw her, she gave me a really big hug and said how proud she was, and to me that was everything. To have her seal of approval meant the world to me.
Mr. Coleman Domingo, sir, you have the daunting task as well as playing Joe Jackson, somebody who, this man was feared by record executives, and he's one of the most debated and talked about people in music history. But like you do with all of your characters, you bring a humanity and a tenderness and a real life vulnerability to him as well, along with all the other stuff we see. How did you approach the duality of him as a man?
First of all, thanks for that statement. I think you have to approach him with a sense of humanity. I had to go on the interior life of Joe, look what made him, look what, all his ways of being in the world and how he applied that into being a good father and wanting for his family and wanting for his family's success. And I think that, Joe is from a very different generation as well. And I understood that by even examining my own stepfather. Sort of, these blue collar, hard-working men who, it was the wife's job to be soft and tender, but the men, by loving, was by having really high bars for the kids to set and for you to, to be a good citizen. And they feel like that's the way they show their love. So I looked at even my own life to find Joe and find men like Joe. So for me, it's not just Joe Jackson, but it's an amalgamation of all these other men that I know and admire. And sometimes I think that they're superheroes, but they don't get sort of the credit. They're just, you know what I mean? I think that they're looked at as being villainous in some way, but you have to really dissect and look at the man behind it. And so for me, I thought that was the task for me to find, because I know that Joe is shrouded in a lot of court of public opinion. And I thought my job as an artist is to bring out the humanity in Joe, which I do know, and really, it was beautiful to have conversations with Antoine and with Jafar as well, especially to know, how was he as a grandpa? Well, how did he make you laugh? How did you feel? All these different stories, so I got a real good composite of who he was.
Miss Nia Long, ma'am, you have, again, I feel like everyone in here, it's like, no pressure, but these are people that folks know. But with yours, it's kind of the opposite. You know, Katherine Jackson is not someone that folks really know, but for so many folks, they say that she is the emotional anchor of the family. I mean, she's even thanked in the notes of Thriller. The quote is, "This album is a loving dedication to Katherine Jackson." Talk about the relationship between Michael and his mother and how you brought that into the performance.
I think they had a very beautiful connection, and it started very early on. And I think a mother intuitively knows what each child needs. And so she saw something at a very early age in Michael that was different from the other children. And during that time in the 60s, it was a tough time for Black people. The backdrop is the civil rights movement, and she's got a hardworking husband. And so her baseline, I believe, with all of her children is love and grace. I really approached the character with that in mind, just the patience, the love, the grace, the softness. And my amazing director who reminded me to stay in that space every single day. There are a lot of times when you create a character, and then there are days when you take something home from the character. And I think what I learned from Katherine is the power of grace and quiet strength. And that is what that did for her children, was created a safe space.
Giuliano, sir, this is your debut film, and I would imagine as a child performer, you're embodying one of the most famous child performers ever. But I think it's something that you can attest to because you're kind of experiencing it yourself, playing Michael Jackson in this movie. So how did you get into that moment of portraying him at that time? And I mean, how much did you even know about Michael Jackson? I'm like, I don't want to shame you or anything, but you know.
I know. Well, before I got the role, I knew a lot about Michael Jackson, and when I got the role, it was like a dream come true. Like, imagine you're just a kid who listens to Michael Jackson, and you're up at 9 a.m. Hey, beat ass, stuff like that, and you just get the role. Hey, Juliana, you're Michael Jackson. And I'm like, what? And just to embody Michael Jackson is a dream come true for me. And I'm just very grateful that Antoine Fuqua trusted me with the role of Michael Jackson.
I mean, I'm very glad now at the Academy Awards they have a casting award, because a film like this is definitely a testament to how you find people to embody these real life figures. But it goes beyond that. Let's talk about the music. I mean, this film follows Michael from his days in the Jackson 5 to the early days in his solo career. For you, Antoine, sir, what was the part that when you were revisiting it or learning more about Michael that you found to be the most surprising about him during the period that's in the film?
Surprising, I think, how lonely Michael was at times. That was surprising. The scene when he's with Bubble playing Twister, or when he asked his brothers would they play Twister with him, when he was with his rat when he was a kid. You never think about Michael Jackson as being lonely.
Yeah, this film definitely shows a lot of that. I mean, just who's around him. I mean, it's a security guard and his family, and that's kind of it. Jafar, and I want you to also speak about this too, Antoine. Y'all have to recreate some moments that are seared in the minds of people like myself. I mean, everything from his moonwalk performance to the videos, but one I think most people are going to be thinking about, and that's Thriller, which, as Michael said, was a short film. I mean, he hired an actual film director to be a part of it. So what was it like recreating Thriller? Again, no big deal. But also great wish fulfillment too. Great wish fulfillment.
Oh my God, it was probably one of the most memorable moments for me, given that we were shooting from sunset to sunrise, 2 nights in an exact location where he shot in East Los Angeles. I had to really tell myself, wow, I'm recreating the most iconic short film music video of all time. And what comes with that is, there's some pressures. You want to obviously nail it, and there's a reference they can go on YouTube and look at the real Michael Jackson doing it. But with that, I wanted to feel it. And as long as I felt it, that I knew I was in the right place. If I'm doing the move and I'm not feeling it, then something's off. But I just grounded myself, and also just being surrounded by the zombies there at night, and seeing Antoine and the crew, and just throughout the whole entire night, just seeing it be recreated and seeing the excitement on their face. I knew we're recreating something very special.
I mean, movie making is a little bit like jazz. Like you kind of know what you want to play, but then you just play with what you do. But when you're doing the thriller, like, no, it's not. Like this has to be, like, I'm like, you could talk about the joy. Let's talk about the pain, sir. What you had to do, because you know that the videos, you knew it when you were making it. They're gonna line this up on TikTok, and they're gonna put the one video on top of the other. I better get this right. So how did you ensure that? Because that's a lot of camera work.
Well, just working with the crew, working with Jafar and the dancers and Graham, we took our time with it. You know, we had a full moon both nights. I knew it was going to work when I pulled up to the set the first night, and the moon was out. The sun was just going down. It was a full moon, and half the crew was dancing around with Wolfman costumes on and all this. The whole crew was just partying to Thriller. So I knew that the crew, as well as the dancers and Jafar and everyone, was going to be on point. We were excited about it. So we took our time with it and got it just right. And Jafar and the dancers they did an amazing job.
So everyone's seen it now, right? Everyone's seen the film? Okay, so they haven't. The folks watching this haven't. But let's just imagine that we're them for a second. Because I had, moments where I was like, I can't believe they did this. Which moment from Michael's life that's in the film are you most excited for audiences to see? And I'm going to go around to everyone. Mr. Coleman Domingo, I'll start with you, sir.
There's an iconic moment that I don't know, maybe I feel like I've seen in the news or something like that, or a video feed of him standing in New York City, standing on top of a car.
Yeah.
In that military outfit, like something about like the size of and scope of that. Of like, yeah, I remember that sort of fandom. Like that's when it was like, oh, that's superstardom. You can't get out and move anywhere. And I feel like that image, for some reason, when I saw it in the film, I thought like, I feel like I've seen that image. And that's when you knew he was like a deity, Yeah.
Jafar, what about you? Besides Thriller, maybe.
Right. That's a tough question. I would say the quiet moments where they're not expecting to see, a new side of Michael, a very intimate and personal behind some of those iconic moments, leading into it, and that allows the audience to get into Michael's mindset and feel what he was feeling in those moments.
I mean, there's some beautiful, intimate, dramatic moments that I could pick, but I think Bad would be the one for me. And the reason is because it meant freedom for Michael. There's a freedom in Bad. That's when he really started to spread his wings. Every time I see it, it gives me joy.
I never knew that Michael spent so much time with his spiritual side, with his personal affirmations. And that was like something that I learned in watching the film. And I really just love that, because I think self-talk is so important in how you see yourself for yourself and how you're seen in the world. So that was pretty beautiful. And it reminds us to do positive self-talk.
Yeah, oh yeah. We need our affirmations.
Yeah. Now you're on the spot, kid.
Yes. Yes. I would say Coleman's answer, staying on top of the car, that was just, really awesome. And just to see how many fans he had, that Michael Jackson's a really big deal. And to make a movie that's about Michael Jackson, a slice of his life, that's really good,
It's really dope. My favorite is actually the moonwalk. I can't believe none of y'all said that one, because I'm like, first of all, you had the moonwalk, sir. Like,
and he had it down.
I know.
Down.
So I'm gonna ask you, with all of the stuff that you have to do in this movie, what was the one that made you the most nervous, if there was one, or you just looked at it as all like, you gotta bite the elephant one bite at a time?
Out of all the performances?
Yeah.
I would say it was the Billie Jean Motown 25 performance. That was the most, I guess I was the most in my head, only because I had to, go frame by frame of what he did on Motown 25. So it was very specific.
Yeah, and that's another iconic one, because he's not free yet in that one, but he's stepping into it. He's definitely leaving it. One of the things I think is great about this film, and things that we love at Fandango, is that people can see it in so many different formats. They're going to get to see it in 4DX and Dolby, and so I'm just curious if you have a favorite that you want to advise Mr. Antoine. IMAX. But tell them why. Tell them why. Like, this is the pitch to the theaters, and again, we love the movie
you have
theater
to
people.
experience Michael's life on the big screen in the most epic way to really feel it, to really be present. You'll feel like you're at a concert. You'll feel like you're in Michael's life, as immersive as you can get.
One of the things I think is incredible is this is just a great music video, basically, for all of Michael's incredible moments, and we get to find out more about him as a person in between all of that. But this is a man, and between the Jackson family, over 150 million albums sold. This is an impact that's already reverberated throughout the world. As sort of like a last word on this, I'm curious for you all what you hope that audiences take about that impact and what it means now that we're kind of revisiting it.
I would say that there's no limit to what you can achieve, no matter who you are.
Michael was all about love. And his concerts and his music and his life was about bringing people together and helping others. Michael gave over $1 billion to hospitals for children and things like that. So I think love is what I'm hoping people really feel and understand what Michael was about.
I would say this film reminds us to connect and respect to humanity. And although you can see someone in front of you who can captivate this big audience, when they go home, they're still human. And I think this film really shows Michael in that way, the human side of him and the incredible amount of pressure he had on him to perform. And so the film represents joy, because joy is freedom. And that's what Michael embodied on that stage.
I would say Michael's the great connector around the world. Every person knows a Michael Jackson song. Every single person, I believe. And what a beautiful time to have a moment to bring us together, to go to a theater, be in a dark space, and celebrate music, celebrate joy, celebrate his impact, and really sit across from someone else who's humming the same tune you are, and you see how we're more alike than unalike. What a beautiful time for a film like this.
I don't think there's any other way
Give
to
me
sum
five,
it.
brother.
Thank you all so very much. And I want to remind all of you that tickets for Michael are on sale now. You can buy it in your preferred format, but as Antoine said, we'd like you to see it in IMAX. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.